In this video, I'm going to take you through my initial reaction to the ACCA SBL pre-scene information for the December 2024 sitting. My name is James, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, especially if you've got the SBL exam, because in this video and series, I'm going to take you through my exclusive notes you can see on the screen above me. And if you'd like a copy so that you can have access to it on your PC, click the link in the description of this video and you can download a copy there. I'm also delighted to say that I'm affiliated and associated with Astranti, where again, you can actually access mock papers, pre-scene packs. Lots of students use these in the past. You'll see from my channel to get them in the 50+ marks so that they are passing and moving on to their next exam. And for pure transparency, as always on the channel, if you were to click any of the links in the description of this video to access those fantastic resources, I'd be entitled to a small commission which goes to supporting the YouTube channel. But as always, a massive, huge thank you for all of your support. So let's get stuck into my initial reaction. First of all, coming into the industry and background information. Now, if you're following these through, there's a lot of notes, but it's all going to help you because we've got the actual background information. We've got a company called Rodhim, you can see highlighted in yellow, well established, and it is in the events management business. Their competitive advantage that they specialize in is all about the corporate and private clients on there. Now, in terms of where they actually operate, they are in the country of Holland. These are real critical things for you to include when it comes to your SBL exam day, because an SBL market is going to love for you to refer to the company name itself, the country, and that is why I've highlighted it in particular on my notes. Now, in terms of the actual events management industry itself, the company what we're referring to here, Rodhim, is actually a small company. There are lots of larger companies on here where you can see on the screen now. At the bottom of page 2, the Holland events management market is dominated by 4 major companies. Now, this is key for your notes to follow through, that our company on here that we are representing, Rodhim, is not one of those large companies on there. There are lots of other variables and it can link into other models in the SBL exam. So we've got Porter's 5 forces hint there in terms of the intensity of competition in Holland. We've got a few actual figures on the first few pages, as you can see highlighted on here, that revenue generated in Holland in 2003 was 108 billion. But if we look up again, we've got in 2003, revenue generated from the events globally was estimated to be 1,960 billion on there. So I've done a few little calculations at the bottom of page 2, where Holland's revenue as a proportion to the global revenue is 5.5%. This is the market that we're operating in, so it has got massive international opportunity on there. That really just gives you a little flavour as to the industry, the background. Now we've got to look at the financial situation of the company itself. So again, lots of notes, but focusing in on Rodhim's financial situation, head down to page 10, because that is where you can see on the screen now the fee income and the operating profit. I've done you the actual percentages for the operating profit margin, and as you can see, year on year, it's been decreasing from 5.1% to 4.69 on there. And what you've got to be saying to yourself is, well, hang on a second, we've got the fee income clearly going up year on year, a nice increase there of 4.7% from 2001 to 2003. But on the right-hand side diagram, the operating profit has been slowly decreasing, which shows we've got higher operating costs associated with it. Again, it's a case of what is this actually going to link into in terms of the financial performance on there? Well, we've actually been given some KPIs within the actual pre-scene information for you to be aware of. So this can be found on page 6 that you can see on my screen now. And some of the KPIs that the 2 partners, which we'll come on to in a moment on there, who are accountable for, we have the fee income growth, which they are currently achieving, but then we've got the operating profit margin on there, and that is where we've got to be increasing that on an individual event and event type basis. The other factors in terms of the finances, you can see on the left hand side here on page 3 that we've got different types of events, and again, it doesn't need me to tell you about what a music conference is or a sporting event or a festival, but the key thing for your actual notes on here in terms of the percentages are that we have music concerts, conferences, festivals as the largest proportion of Harland events on there. But then on the right hand side pie chart, we've got corporate clients and private clients. You can see corporate clients dominate particularly, but a key thing for your notes on here is that the company we are representing does not currently target the public sector. So from a SWOT analysis, that is a massive opportunity on there. You should definitely get down in your notes and again apply in the scenario when it comes to your exam. That of course is if it gets tested on there. It's completely up to what we're tested in terms of Rodhim. And the final thing in terms of the actual financial situation, coming back up to that page 2, there's loads of figures on there. I've given you a few of the percentages in terms of Rodhim's fee income as a proportion to Harland's fees on there. So you can see it only actually relates to 2%. And if we were to take Rodney's fee income as a proportion of Harland's revenue, that's where we're looking at only 0.72%. Now this is my only first video on this. You can follow it through on the notes. But we've got a variety of different models and theories this could relate to. One being the Boston Consulting Group model that we currently have for the company Rodhim, that we've got low market share and high rate of growth in the industry. So that is where we're in the question mark area of the quadrant, where potentially if we were to get more higher market share, we will be moving into the star quadrant. Again, theories and models, you've just got to be on your toes when it comes to the exam day. You can see also on the left hand side now, we can come on to point 3, I would say now, the company setup. We've given it as a nice little overview in the first paragraph that we've got a partnership here rather than a limited company for the owners of Rodhim. And then you've got to say to yourself, that is where we have something called unlimited liability. So if you're a partner and you're not actually a limited company, so the individuals Amanda and Sally you can see on the screen, they're a partnership. That means that if the business runs up debts, they will be personally liable for those debts on there. So this is where we're going to get legal factors, potential lawsuits that could come about it, and cash flow as well on there. So again, something to note down, don't overlook it. But the key names for you to get down are Amanda Hope and Safi Dubois are the actual partnership, 50-50, equal ownership, but it has unlimited liability. It is not a limited company on there. In other words, if the business racks up debts, they would be accountable and have to pay for it. In terms of the company setup, going into a bit more detail now, on the left-hand side for the organisational structure, really interesting here because leadership is the syllabus area A that they don't particularly test too much, but there are a few little hints on here to say, well, that's a bit interesting. So we've got on here Amanda Hope and Safi Dubois. I've highlighted it in blue so you can follow it a bit more easily. And then we have the management team down below of Jimmy, Diker and Mirza on there. Again, we've got different areas, event planning, event delivery and business support. First thing I picked up on, we've got 34 full-time employees. So again, that's a lot of management, that's a lot of delegation on there in terms of it. We've then got a potential area they could ask you about planning for an IPO, so an initial public offering. Who knows, that could be in the pipeline. But the interesting one on here is Diker. So she's 22 years old, recent graduate, inexperienced, and we're talking about a company that she is now head of event delivery, where if we come back down to those financials at the bottom, with a fee income of $780 million. That's a lot of pressure on a 22-year-old. So that is number 3, company setup. And number 4, quickly at the end for our nice, easy review, is what is going wrong at the company. So again, as always, in the SBL exam, there is going to be things on the exam day that are going to go wrong. Hence why I do these notes, and I hope you enjoy them as we go through. But the key things to get down in your notes from this video are that we've got on the left-hand side here, the corporate tenders. So this is where they're having to pitch for these events, especially to corporate clients. And if they win the tender on there, then they win the client. However, what we have on here is they're only 45% successful in terms of when they pitch for tenders. So they've got a 55% failure rate on there, so not particularly good. And then they have this client satisfaction or net promoter score in the case study materials. And what we can see on here is year on year, so remember the total fee income has been going up, but the client satisfaction, that net promoter score, has gone down in the last 2 years. So in 2001 it was 9.1, and in 2003 we're down to 7.5. And again, we're a small organisation. Word of mouth, reputation are all going to be critical things to the business's success. And that is where, again, an area particularly prominent, I would say, you should be referring to if it comes up on the exam day, because I see it can be relayed in a variety of different areas. Well, that takes you through my actual initial reaction to the SBL pre-seen information for December 2024. As you will imagine, I will be doing a lot more videos, so be sure to subscribe. And if you'd like access to these notes, along with Astranti's fantastic resources, click the links down below in the description, and I'll leave you another video up at the top now. I'll see you on the other side, and best of luck for your SBL preparation. Thank you very much.